I'm Robert Piper. I'm the head of the Development Coordination Office in UN headquarters, one of the new offices, one of the key pieces of this new round of development system reforms. We've made a tremendous amount of progress in less than 2 years. The resident coordinator function has become full-time function, empowered, independent. We've moved the function under the Secretary General's office so that it really does draw on the authority of the Secretary General and can draw on all the pillars of the UN system to support member states. We've introduced new instruments, new policies, new financing incentives to bring the system together, to work together, to collaborate around the Sustainable Development Goals and the new generation of key development priorities. The last piece of the reform puzzle, if you will, is to finalize some changes at the regional level so that we bring all of our regional assets to bear, both to support country teams and their support of governments, and to get better results at the sub-regional and regional level over the years ahead. Tremendous amount of progress in a tremendously short amount of time, but the feedback is great. First, from agencies who have embraced these changes, recognizing that these were changes that needed to happen for us to keep up and stay relevant with the demand of our clients. Good feedback from member states who are appreciative on the donor side of how much has been done, the extent to which we have shifted the way we work, and from program or host governments who are also highly appreciative of the new role of the resident coordinator, but most of all seeing the country team come together in such a powerful way and to deliver so much more than just the sum of its parts. So really great feedback for a short period of time, and I want to salute really our people in the front line, our country teams, our resident coordinators offices, who really made it all happen. And it's tremendous to be able to watch this and see the progress so quickly. At the center of this reform, without question, is a new generation of common country analyses or assessments and development cooperation frameworks, the old UNDAF, now the DCF. If we are going to get this right, if we're going to reposition the UN system on the right issues, then the development cooperation framework is the instrument. It needs to be informed by much better quality analysis, and it needs to be designed in a new way that truly positions the development system around the issues that matter. More emphasis on the economy and the economic side of development. A look at the sub-regional context if there are external factors. A sense of the risk ahead and how the picture could change over time depending on different variables. Absolutely laser focus on the Sustainable Development Goals and the indicators and targets that come with that as the only agenda that matters, a blueprint that's written for us already, endorsed by all our member states, that does not need to be reinvented. And above all, a focus on leaving no one behind. An evidence-based analytical look at why is it that some members of our society are structurally disadvantaged and why they are more vulnerable to the hazards that lie ahead of all of us. And this year has been a very rude reminder with COVID that there are many risks out there, and sure enough, like every other catastrophe that's hit mankind, it has hit the most vulnerable hardest. So the development cooperation framework really is the key piece. If we get it right, it positions the UN system in the right way for the next generation. If we get it wrong, we lose a few more years in a very short period of time we can't afford to lose to get to 2030. So we are all looking at this new generation of DCFs, and we are all there to support country teams in producing the best possible cooperation framework. Two key pieces in this to finish. One is, in the new generation of cooperation frameworks, we want country teams to think very hard about the comparative advantage of the UN development system in your country. You've got to listen to government, you've got to listen to the donors, you've got to listen to civil society and the private sector, and really understand what is it we can do that no one else can do. We've got to focus very exclusively on that and partner up with other players who can bring some complementary skills that they can do much better than us, so that every dollar we spend is really focused on those things where we have a very strong so-called comparative advantage. Are we a convener? Are we a policy advisor? Are we a coordinator? Are we an advocate? Are we all of the above? But let's be clear where we are adding value. Second and finally, a focus on accountability. This development cooperation framework lies at the center of a new commitment by the Secretary General, by the UN Development System, to an enhanced sense of accountability to our member states. It will inform the performance management and assessment of USCIs. It will inform the assessment of UN country teams. But most importantly, it will be the platform on which country teams account to governments on what they did over the last year and what they plan to do over the next year. What were our successes? What were our setbacks? What did we learn over the last year as we accompanied government on the road to 2030? The Development Cooperation Framework, its annual report, will be a crucial part of this new regime, if you will, of enhanced accountability between the UN Development System and our member states. Also for our donors, of course, who provide some $17 billion in resources for the UN Development System every year. It's a large amount of money. It deserves a clear sense of accountability and organized for all governments, for all member states, as they have insisted, around the Sustainable Development Goals. This is our agenda. They want to know what we have done to advance the Sustainable Development Goals in support of our government. So there it is, a crucial piece. I'm delighted to share that. I'm delighted to be part of this reform effort and to share some sense of satisfaction that we've made good progress. Still a long way to go. And the key piece of that, without question, will be this new generation of development cooperation framework. So I wish you well as you develop yours. Thank you.